Hey Yogi, welcome to class. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ree, and I'm normally accompanied by one or sometimes two basset hands, but they've both decided they don't want to do yoga today. And if you're returning, welcome back. For this class, it'll be handy to have a block. It's not essential, just like nothing ever is with your asana practice, but it would be nice to have one maybe, and definitely a blanket just at the end of your mat would be cool. And with that being said, pop your block to the top of your mat, put it on its kind of middle side, and then maybe grab your blanket and come to a cross-legged seat, so Sukhasana. So the blanket's just nice to elevate the hips, so if you haven't got it, no sweat. You could sit on a block, blanket's just a bit more comfortable. When you cross the legs, really think about crossing them halfway along the shins. So it's really unnatural for me. I always let one leg go out in front, but try and have the feet so that they're roughly underneath the knees. It's just going to give us a little bit more opening. Take the hands wherever you'd like them to be for the beginning of the practice, and close down the eyes. Let's just drop in. If you're not feeling having the eyes closed today, maybe take a soft gaze, just looking to the top of the cheeks. See if you can elongate through the spine. Lift the crown of your head without lifting the chin. And stack your ears on top of your shoulders and let your shoulders just relax. We're just going to take a few moments to arrive at this asana practice. We often arrive on our mats with sometimes low energy, sometimes loads of energy, sometimes with a really busy mind. So let's just take a few moments here to try and just drop in, to listen to the body. One of my teachers says the body is ancient and wise, and it knows what to do. It's usually the mind that messes it around. So with that in mind, let's aim to really listen to the body throughout our journey together today. If it feels nice, place one hand near the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a deep inhale. Feel the chest expand. Feel the belly push into your hand. And exhale. Nice big inhale. Feel your chest push into your hand. Feel your belly. Acknowledge your other hand. Fill all the way up. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Blink the eyes open. Release the hands. Take the arms out wide. Reach the palms facing up. Reach all the way up. Look up. Imagine you could stretch through your fingertips and send your breath there. Exhale. Palms face down. Lower down. Inhale. Turn the palms up. Reach up. Look up. Imagine that breath is all the way to the top. Exhale. Palms come down. One more. Inhale. Reach, reach, reach. Look up. Exhale. Turn the palms up. Send it down. Nice. Take the hands, clasp them, pop them in front of the chest. Take an inhale. Feel the chest move into the hands. Take an exhale. Turn the palms away Really draw chin to chest, push through the shoulders. Inhale, seated cow pose, reach up, look up. Exhale, round down. Notice the relationship to your hips here. What are they doing? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, round down. One more, inhale. Exhale. Nice. Good job. Release the hands, roll forward into a tabletop position. You can move your blanket. Keep it, I'd say keep it at the back of your mat. It's going to be handy. And then come into all fours, tabletop. Take some circles with the wrists. Wake the hands up a little bit. Really grip through the mat here. Try and wrap the triceps. Engaging. See if you can make sure that you roll around all four corners of the palm. Just trying to really work into those wrists before we get started. Nice. From here, take your hands a little bit further out and then push the butt back towards the heels. Come into a child's pose. As you inhale, roll forward, pushing through a cat pose. When you get shoulders stacking over the wrists, bend the elbows as you exhale. Come into a cobra. Inhale, push through the hands, come into kind of like a cat pose, and then push the butt all the way back. Two more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale, soften the elbows, come down. Low cobra. Inhale. Exhale. Push butt back to the heels. Inhale. Exhale, soften the elbows. Nice. From here, keep the hands where they are and just take them forward into a 10 to 2 position, setting up for Oscillating Cobra. So hips are heavy, feet are nice and engaged. Head to the mat. Inhale, reach up. Work through your spine. Lift your chest. Exhale, come down to the earth. Inhale. Use the inhale to draw you up. Use your exhale to soften. One more. Inhaling up, the breath lifting you. Exhale to soften. Take the left arm out long, take the right hand underneath the shoulder and roll over. Right foot chasing that left hand. Maybe they connect, maybe they don't. Side of the head can go to the mat or it can be lifted. Just feel this out. Inhale, release that foot, send it long. Changing sides, left hand under the shoulder, right arm long. Send your, just kick the plant. Send your left foot back, chasing for your right palm. Feel a nice opening here perhaps. And then inhale, bring that leg back around, straighten it. Come back to where you started. Hands underneath the chest. Underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under and push up strongly into high plank. Bend the knees, push back into downward facing dog. Nice job. The right leg will lift, 3-leg dog. From here, turn your right toes so they're trying to point up to the sky. Look forward and see if you can bring that right foot on the outside of the right hand, keeping the leg relatively straight. Drop the back knee down. Inhale, reach up, look up. Reach your arm up, twist your body to the right. Exhale, hand to the mat. Tuck the back toes, straighten or work to straighten through both legs. Lift your hips, modified pyramid pose. And then from here, pressing the hands into the mat, see if you can swing that right foot all the way back. Try and keep the legs straight. Find downward facing dog. Left leg lifts to the sky, 3-leg dog. Open up the left hip, turning the left toes up towards the sky, and then see if slowly, with control, the left foot can land outside the left hand. Drop the back knee. Inhale, take the twist, arm reaches up. Drishti chases the thumb. Exhale, left hand to the mat, tuck the toes. Work to straighten both legs, come into a modified pyramid pose. Think about keeping that left hip plugging back. Replant the hands, lift that left foot high and circle it back into downward facing dog. Lift heels, bend knees, inhale, roll yourself forward into high plank. Exhale, push up, drop knees, drop forearms. Slide yourself along your mat, come into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, 3-leg dog. Open through the right hip and then roll forward, bringing that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Drop the back knee, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, lift the hips high. You can lift the right toes up so that they're chasing the shin. Just think about plugging that right hip back, left hip forward. Rebend the right knee, not the right foot. And then from here, plant your weight into your left hand. Turn all 10 toes to face the right side of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arm up, look up. Lift the hips, high horizon lunge. Exhale, lower a little bit. Inhale to lift, push up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hand to the mat. Swing the right leg back. Downward dog. Left leg lifts, 3-leg dog. Turn the left toes out, so you're really opening through the hip. And then see if you can slowly, with control, bring the left foot outside the left hand, drop the right heel, right knee. Inhale, reach up, take the twist, look up, drishti chases the thumb. Exhale, hands to the mat, pyramid pose, modified pyramid, lifting the toes if it feels good on that left foot. Send your right hip forward. Exhale, rebend the left knee, turn all 10 toes to the left for high horizon lunge. Inhale, lift your hips, sweep up, arm comes up. Exhale, see if you can lower a little. Inhale, lift the hips high, reach up. Exhale, left hand back to the mat. Left leg lifts, 3-leg dog, and then plants. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift heels, bend knees, roll forward into high plank. Exhale to Vinyasa. Drop forearms, drop knees. Drag yourself through into upward facing dog. Push back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Nice. From here, take your feet as wide as the mat, heels in, toes out, and then push the hips back. So you're in this funky down dog. Start to walk the hands back towards the heels, coming into Malasana. So it might feel nice. If your heels don't meet the mat, just pop the blanket underneath the heels as you lower. It's just going to allow you to find a bit more depth and feel a little bit more stable. You could always roll up the back of your mat, but the blanket's a bit easier to be messing around with. I think. Coming into Malasana here, feel free to sway through the hips, through the feet. And just see how this feels. See if you can lift your chest, spine long. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, hands to the mat, straighten through the legs. Inhale, lower down, back to Malasana. 2 more just like that. Inhale, fingertips to the mat, forward fold. Exhale, Malasana, getting into these hips. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, Malasana. Nice. From here, walk the hands back and forward. Come into a regular down dog, so straighten up the feet. Move your blanket if you used it. Left leg will lift, 3-leg dog. High onto the ball of the left toes. Bend the left knee, bend the right knee, roll forward into right foot next to the right hand and rise up. Warrior 2. Find your warrior 2 here. Engage through the inside of your right leg. Press out to the side of the left foot. Then from here, leaning forward, drag your back leg along. Find Arda Chandrasana, half moon. This is where the block's going to be nice if you want it. Or you can let the right hand hover above the mat, reaching your left arm up. Think about lifting through the back leg and engaging right the way to the back toes. Try not to close off the side waist on the right, like I was just there. Great place to have your block under your hand. 1 more breath here. Rebend through the right leg. Slowly send that left foot to the back. Rise up into warrior 2. Sink low. Inhale, the left hand will go to the mat. All 10 toes will face the right side of the mat. Lower the hips down. Low horizon. Inhale, sweep the arm up and over and lift the hips. High horizon. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach up. Spin back. Coming into 3-leg dog. From here, bend your elbows, bend the standing leg. Inhale, come into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, left leg will lift, 3-leg dog. Draw the left knee into the chest, spike the left toes, drop them halfway up the mat. Bring the right knee into the chest, spike the right heel towards the right butt. You're going to lift your left hand, lift your left hand, swivel on your left foot, drop your right foot down, left hand goes behind you. Inhale, reverse tabletop. Exhale, sink low. Inhale, reach up. Weight into the right hand, right knee to left elbow, spin back. Come into a 3-leg dog and let the foot land. Downward dog. Left leg will lift, nice and high. Bend the left knee, bend the right knee, left foot in between the hands. Rise up, warrior 2. Find your warrior, be strong, be steady. Press into the outside of the right foot. Drive down and back with that left heel. Look forward. Slowly drag that left foot along. Coming into Arda Chandrasana. I like to let both hands go underneath my left shoulder and then open that right arm up. Keep engaging through that back leg. Try not to close off the left waist. 1 more breath here. Bending through the left knee, slowly dropping the right foot back, rise up and back into warrior two. Then the right hand will meet the mat, all 10 toes will spin to the left. See if you can lower that right hip to the mat. Then inhale, reach the left arm up and over, lift the hips, high horizon lunge. Exhale to lower. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to sink deeper. Inhale, reach up, spin back. Left leg to the sky, 3-leg dog. Bend your right leg, bend your elbows, drive through. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, 3-leg dog. Bend the right knee, bend the left knee, spike the right toes halfway up the mat, and then bend the left knee, bring it to a hover. Weight into the left hand, spin on the right toes, left hand plants, right hand behind you. Inhale, reach the hips high. Reverse your tabletop. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. One more of those. Inhale, reach. Weight into the left hand. Reach the right arm up. Right arm, left knee touches, spins back around, and then comes into this narrow 3-leg dog. Let the left foot drop. Nice. From here, inhale, lift heels, bend knees, roll forward into high plank. On your exhale, Vinyasa. Inhaling through into upward dog. Exhaling back into downward facing dog. Nice. From here, lift the right leg high, bend the left knee, bend the right knee, bring it into the chest, roll forward, spike the right toes, then spike the left heel into the left butt. Weight into the left hand as you spin through, right hand drops behind you, back into reverse tabletop. Really lift the hips here. And then exhale, let the hips go to the mat. So I will turn to face you here. So from here, take the feet and the legs nice and wide. Coming into a wide leg forward fold. This is also a nice place to pop the blanket if you just need a little bit of elevation in the hips. Start to walk the forearms to the mat, chest reaching forward. Keep the toes, keep the feet engaged. Take a couple of breaths here. Option to stay here working on your forward fold, or you're going to bring 2 fists to the inside of the groin, sit tall, and then push off the fists, roll yourself forward. Come into a wide leg forward fold. Nice. You may be off your mat here, you may not. It really depends where you ended up going. But just take a nice deep forward fold here. And then lift the chest. Take the fists back through the gap. And then slowly lower yourself back to wide leg forward fold. Nice. From here, we're going to come back into that tabletop. So I'm going to roughly meet you where you were. So bend both knees, plant them to the mat. Inhale, lift the hips nice and high. From here, pop your weight into your left hand. Reach the right arm, right knee, left knee, to right elbow, and spin back through into downward facing dog. The left leg will lift, And then bend the right knee, bend the left knee, roll forward, spike the left toes halfway up the mat. Bring that right knee into the chest, spike the right toes. Weight into the right hand, peel yourself through, left hand behind you. Inhale, reach up. Reverse your tabletop, engage your glutes. Exhale to lower. Sit your butt back to your heels. This time, if you're going to roll forward from the wide leg forward fold, so everybody come into that now, then just make sure that you are off your mat, so that when you roll up, you will be on your mat, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay, so coming down into your wide leg forward fold. Maybe you go all the way this time as you open up more territory in the body. Maybe you stay lifted and just keep the forearms grounded. Take a couple of breaths here. And then sitting up, making the fists again, this time pushing off the fists and rolling back into this wide leg forward fold, a variation of Padottanasana. If you want to go further, walk the feet back a little bit so that you're still in the wide leg fold, but you've got space to pop your head down. And then we'll come into a bound headstand, only if that's your vibe today. I mean, if it's not, absolutely don't. But making your way wherever you're going. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, come back to where you started. On 1. Nice. Lift the head. Lift the chest. Come back through the legs. So your knuckles are going to help you here to slowly lower. Nice. From here, bring the knees back together. Plant the feet. Don't worry that you will probably be in the wrong place. So am I. Both hands are going to come behind the hips. Reach up. Reverse tabletop. Nice. And then from here, weight into the left foot, the right arm. Right knee bends, left elbow bends. Spin back. Downward facing dog. And then from here, everybody lower the knees. Come to sit on the shins and sort of readjust yourself on your mat. We kind of lost the plot there, went all over the place, but that's fine. Take a moment here just to let your head stack on top of your shoulders. Maybe you're thinking like, what did we just do? It didn't make any sense. It doesn't need to, don't worry. Be in the practice, be in the moment, and more importantly, be in your body. The asana practice is really just here to allow us to tune into the body and condition it for other areas of our yoga life. Nice. From here, come into a downward facing dog. A little bit more work before we close. Inhale, bend knees, lift heels, roll forward into high plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Untuck the toes, setting up for Oscillating Cobra. Hands at 10 to 2 or maybe 3 and 9 now that we're warm. Lower the head to the mat, hips heavy, legs engaged. Inhale, wave your spine up with control, with ease. Exhale, soften, surrender. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Arms alongside the body, setting up for Shalambhasana. Pinky fingers turn in, wrap the shoulders. Inhale, gather the chest up, lift the legs, lift the feet. Can you lift any higher? Can you stretch any longer? And release. Take the left arm out into a T, right hand under the right shoulder. Take that twisted pose here. Maybe this time the right toes are just about making it to the left hand. Now that we've found a little bit more space. Take that right leg back to where it came from. Right arm goes long. Left hand under the shoulder. Take it on this side. Breathe into that right shoulder. And then roll it back. Come back to center. Push back. Take your block with you if you've got it, and come to sit on the shins. So we'll take another couple of inversions before we finish. So have the block in between the hands long ways. If you haven't got a block, clasp the hands. It's going to be a nice option for you. So really pressing into the block here. Take it out and down to the mat and really push the forearms into the earth. Use the block to channel some energy for the squeeze, for the push. And then tuck toes, lift heels, lift hips. Come into your dolphin pose. Really push the mat away here. Push, push, push. Don't give in to it. We're just going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Knees land. Release. Sit back on the heels. Same again, or this time forearm stand. And the block's a nice option there just because, again, it just gives you something to focus on. Sometimes some people find it more helpful to use the block for forearm stand. So if you want to give that a go, or dolphin, either is a great option. So you're going to take the block in between the hands again, really squeeze the block here. No need to grip the hands around, keep the fingers kind of engaged on either side of the block. Then lifting up through the hips, walking the feet in a little bit, and then just taking a couple of hops, seeing what happens. Keep pushing through the shoulders. Resist gravity. Resist, resist, resist. Maybe drop the gaze. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, lower on 1. Sit back to the heels. Gather your hands in your lap. Sit up nice and tall and close the eyes. Regather your center. Tune into your subtle body, that body that you wouldn't see if you cut us open, but it's there and it's working for you, working with you. To close the practice, you can either come into Shavasana, or you can take your blanket and come back into Sukhasana. Easy seat, finishing the practice as we're starting it. If you're doing that, change the cross of the legs that you took at the beginning, because that's going to feel really funky. And again, make sure that you cross the shins about halfway up the shins. Sit nice and tall. Your hands can be wherever you would like them. But just sit nice and upright. Let the practice settle into your physical body. Now that you have moved through your asana practice, focusing on dropping into the center of you, the center of your being, who you are, your purpose. Out of your head, hopefully finding moments where the body took over and the mind just took a bit of a back seat, just for a little while. Take one hand to the heart center, one hand to the belly, just as we began. Inhale, fill the chest, fill the belly. North, south, east, west, everything expanding. And exhale, everything drawing in, drawing together, contracting. Inhale to expand. Everything gets a little bit bigger. You grow a little taller. And exhale. Contract. Draw it all in. 2 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going for as long as you have available. This is where I will leave you now. Thank you so much for joining me for another Vinyasa practice. I hope to see you on the channel again soon. Thank you.